This is a song about times in the 1920s, 1930s in the place where I come from called the northeast of England when things used to be rough. In fact, they were so bloody rough. In 1954, when I used to go to school, people used to drink out of jam jars. Are you ready now? You ready for the off? Right, after 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, after 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In times like these, it's good to have a friend. In times like these, on whom you can depend on for a helping hand. Now isn't it grand? When folks next door, they help you raise a smile, makes you forget your troubles for a while. Now that's what friends are for, I've told you before. And when the money doesn't go far, we end up drinking out of jam jars. When there's no meat on the table, we live as well as we are able. Just not true that we are all alone. It's just not true, 'cause someone must have done it with somebody else, or else you wouldn't be here. Do I make myself clear? When there's no meat on the table, we live as well as we are able. In times like these, it's good to have a friend. In times like these, on whom you can depend on for a helping hand. A helping hand, for a helping hand, for a helping hand, for a helping hand. Isn't it grand? We all need a helping hand. My home now is in Barnes. I live there with a wife and bairn. I like it because there's a local pub, and there's jazz on there 7 nights a week and Sunday afternoons, and every time I feel bored, I just pop up the road. I like it because I can rehearse there as well, and that's where we did the concert. A lot of the songs I did last night, they've been in my head for some time. I've really got to get them together in a proper form, because I've got a new album to do. It's quite important because really, apart from the film music I did for Lucky Man, I've only made 2 albums in 9 years, which is not exactly what you'd call prolific. I'll be doing quite a lot of rehearsing and recording in the next few weeks, but I'd like to go back to Jarrow because a lot of the songs spring from me memories and fragments in my imagination about how that scene used to look to me. And I'd like to go back just to play the people to see the reaction. I still have very strong connections with Jarrow because, I mean, it's my hometown, that's in the northeast. I've got my stepfather, he lives there. Both my parents are dead, so he's the only one I've got left really apart from my brother. It's going to be a busy time and be a strain, but I'll just have to see how it goes.
It's early morning and the clouds are rising across the city border. Today is the day I ought to be following the sun. Through the window creeps the sound of city wheels on city ground. I gotta keep it moving, but there ain't no place to run. And the radio plays
running, here's the sun. I must pull out my finger, or else my life will lead me and go sliding down the drain. Close the door and say a prayer for those in peril of their souls. I've gotta keep moving, and there ain't no place to run. And the radio plays sad songs, glad songs, bad songs all day long. And the thunder made me wonder why I feel I really don't belong. And they're playing sad songs, glad songs, bad songs all day long. And the thunder made me wonder why I feel I really don't belong. When we get to Newcastle, we're going to do a gig at the school this afternoon, not tonight. And I got a letter from the headmaster, and he said there'd be about 800 school children there.
What, this afternoon?
Yes. Well, I didn't tell you this in the first place because I know that you don't like children. Haven't had two of your own. But it's a thing I've always wanted to do. And I prefer to do it with a good voice and a better band. But as it is, I'm stuck with this and stuck with you.
Right.
It's my old school. It used to be a grammar school, but now they call it a secondary modern, although it's still a grammar school. They thought because they're going to have comprehensive education, if they changed the name, it would change the system. And I think they'll be very kind to us. They might have forgotten who I am. Don't you believe it? Breakfast at 6 for the boys with a job, tired before they start. Give them the money and they'll do the job. The boys have got lots of heart. So it's up in the morning over the bridge, darkness still over the day, over the cobbles and down to the yard, away, away, away. Someday you think he may never come back, the man who is all your life. It breaks your heart and it makes you cry. Is this part of being a wife? So it's up in the breakfast at Silver's Bridge, for the darkness still over the day, over the cobbles and down to the yard, away, away, away. So it's up in the breakfast at Silver's Bridge, for the darkness still over the day, over the cobbles and down to the yard, away, away,
Some 15 years ago, a shy young man left this school with at least two assets. One, a good education, and two, lots of personality. Now, in the intervening 15 years, many things have happened to this school. It's doubled in size. The one thing that hasn't happened, the personality of this young man hasn't changed. And it's my pleasure tonight to welcome back on your behalf Alan Price. Now, I know you haven't come to listen to me, you've come to welcome back Alan Price.
I'd like to introduce you to the men in the band, and very good friends of mine. The first one I'd like to introduce to you is a boy called Colin Green, who plays with me in Georgia Fame. He's been on the stage and played right since he was 15. He's been with Billy Fury, Marty Wilde, all the big stars of the time. And I'd like to put your hands together, please, for Mr. Colin Green on the guitar. Thank you. And then on drums, there's a fella from Malta called Tony Carr, who has played with all the best men there is. He's played with Andy Williams. He plays on sessions. If you know what sessions are, that's where they get up in the morning and they go to a studio at 9 o'clock in the morning and make a sound which you buy, and they do it just like a factory, night after night, day after day. But they keep going, and I'd like to put your hands together, please, for Mr. Tony Carr. Thank you. He's the youngest man, and he's only been professional for about 2 years, and he wears glasses, but he's still very handsome, and he's a very good player. Put your hands together, please, for Mr. Dave Marquis on the bass. Thank you. I'd like to do a song for him now, which is influenced by a man that meant a lot to me and still means a lot to me, a blues singer by the name of Ray Charles, and the song is called You're Telling Me. My mother told me, don't ever worry, but alas, she's not here to tell me now. My daddy told me, save all your money, but my daddy isn't here to tell me how. I'm just a lonely human being, what I am, which is lost in a world which is more lost than I am. Tell me, yes, you should be happy. You have more than many others in this town. But I can see now just what they mean now. They're my friends until my body lets them down. I'm just a lonely human being, what I am, which is lost in a world which is more lost than I am. I'm just a lonely human being, what I am, which is lost in a world which is more lost than I am. I think that now people don't have so much of a glamorous idea of what the business is about. There are a few fools who think that there's still that money to be made and to be recognised as a terrific thing. I mean, that was the biggest bugbear in my life. Like, when I first came down to London from 64 to 67, I was afraid to go into a restaurant on my own. As I couldn't stand, I used to be very paranoid. I was always shy in a way, and I think that's why I perform. In a way, it's overcompensation, you know, for your shyness. And when I'd made it and been on television, and for 3 years, I used to get hot flushes, and I couldn't go into restaurants, and I used to hate being recognised, and wouldn't go on the tube, and wouldn't go at the picture. I never went to the pictures for 3 years. It's silly. It just depends on what sort of individual you are. So that people lap it up, love every minute of it. Careful now. If you don't push, I'll do them all. But you're hurting people down the front here. I remember when I was in the Animals, we had this wardrobe which we got together. We must have spent about £600 on suits and shirts. That was quite a lot of money in '64. And we had about 50 pastel-coloured shirts. And I wasn't that untidy. I mean, I wasn't dirty. I used to bath every day. But every time a shirt got dirty, I just put it in the cupboard. And I remember the day I left the Animals, and I opened the door, and it was just full of clothes, 6 foot high, of stinking sweaty shirts that I couldn't face. You know, and that sort of summed up the life initially. Now, my laundry's done, my bed's made, I've got a band that makes a smile. It makes a difference. It makes you want to come home, do a few things. On the other hand, it can be a drag. Many times I feel like running through a brick wall. But it's few and far between now, because I ain't got the strength anymore.
Did you have a musical background? You know, anybody at home, anything?
Mm-hmm. My dad played the piano, and my brother had a band. My brother used to go to the school, John Price, because he's 5 years older than me, and he used to have a traditional jazz band. And he taught me a lot. He bought me my first guitar, and he always used to be playing jazz around the house.
Would you have any advice for any budding young stars, if there's any in school? Because there's a group, well, it's not really a group, but there's a few young lads play, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think unless, of course, you can, I suppose you take what you have to do is just do it as a hobby, and then do it part-time, and if you get some sort of professional approval from people, you just have to, it's just your luck, it's all a chance. It's not a thing, it's not like any sort of career that you can pass exams or do any, serve your apprenticeship doing this. Well, you serve your apprenticeship, but some people make it and some don't. It's a very difficult thing. I would never advise anybody to think of it as a living. It's the same way as most football managers would never tell young lads to be footballers. It's a limited career, you know.
What you said about Ray Charles.
What, that I admired him?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like everything else. When you first learn, and you see, you don't have a very good technique, and you don't write your own songs, so you copy lots of people. And then eventually your own style comes out after a few years. But mainly you model yourself on a few people. Hopefully they're good.
That's about it.
Yeah?
Thanks very much.
Answered it all. I got enough down there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Could you sign these?
By the photographs, I think. I'll go with the pen. When I strayed with my love to that pure crystal fountain that stands by the beautiful lake of Tralee, she was lovely and fair as the sun of the morning, but it wasn't her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eyes ever dawning, when made me love Mary the Rose of, but Rose of Tralee. There you are, that'll do. Well, when I was a young lad, and I lost my dad early on, and I used to live at my granny's, and my mother went out to work, and my brother was at school, and I lived in this old house, and I was mainly on my own a lot. Now, I think a lot of people don't experience that if they live in a very close family, and they don't think about being alone until later on in life, and it hits them hard. And it happened to me when I was about 5 till I was 10. I was on my own and had to use my own imagination. And I mean, if you really want to write and you really want to strike a chord with people, you have to find a theory for yourself about what people are about. It may not work for everybody, but there is a certain theory that I have, that everybody is alone and lonely. And it's only that when you recognize that in other people, and they know that you know that, I think that's half the time they turn up to see people on stage. There's the people that just getting out there and saying, well, this is me. And they're not afraid to say it. And a lot of people are afraid to say, I feel alone. And I'm afraid to die, and this, that, and the other, and nobody I can talk to. And there are millions of people like that. And if you can write about it without being, first of all, sentimental, and then secondly, you know, wearing your heart on your sleeve, but if you can actually crack it and get to the vein of why we're all doing what we're doing, which I feel is because a lot of people are alone.
I'm asking you to give us time and listen to this tale with particular regard for folks whose lives are for sale. You've heard no doubt of places where they sweat and work for pence, and the peculiar faith of those you think would have more common sense. Leftover people, how will they cope? Living on dreams, hoping on hope. Leftover people, down on their luck. All that they know is that living is tough. So now we'll show how lives are lived by those without reprieve. And watch us closely, closer now. To see is to believe. Watch their faces closely as they wend their weary way. They're carrying tired hearts and minds that can think only of today. Leftover people, how will they cope? Living on dreams, hoping on hope. Leftover people, how will they cope? Living on dreams, hoping on hope.
I was brought up with that northern working class Puritan instinct that you must tell the truth and always try to be good. And it worked quite well until I left the northeast and I came down to London. And I found out that just wasn't true. And I found out that really the weakest do go to the wall. And being straight and telling the truth actually doesn't work. And then after you've gone through a lot of changes like that, you do get very cautious. It's only that I mean, I believe that everything's your own doing. As I say, you can't, alter your own destiny. But I do feel that if you allow yourself to get into this state of being, first of all, mismanaged, and money going here, there, and everywhere, exploited, used like slave labor, I mean, all those things are your own fault. If you're not strong enough, man, to change it, you deserve everything you get. And that's why I'm cautious now. Because, I mean, what I've got to give, you don't get a lot of coming back to you. So, yes, I'm cautious.
Please let me dream like one.
J A R R O W.
Jarrow. Jerome Town.
Yeah. So the this is a song, and it's going to be quite long. And it's going to be about the Jarrow March. I didn't really want to write anything about it. You know, people always say to me, "Why didn't you record Blade and Races, man? Make a great tune, you know." So
Why
this
didn't
is
you?
going to be my equivalent of the Blade and Races. Right. It's in G. It's called the Jarrow song. So I thought one way of doing it would be to write a verse about a fella. You know, ask one of these men, make a fictitious name, and do the song. That'll be the ballad type of it all. My name is Jody McIntyre, the bands don't have a band, blah, blah, woof, woof. Go to London town, march. And then the sound, then I want the sound of bells. You know, that big idea of the big city and man against society and rich and, you know, the working class bloody fable. And then, and a chorus about come on, follow the Geordie lads. And then I want to go into an instrumental thing which has actually got nothing to do with the song. But it's really delicate. And it's just the contrast I want between a hard-hitting, shout and screaming song and something about the delicate part of it when they get to London. And just imagine, you know, that idea that the things falling round about their ears and they're still dancing away. And there's champagne and tints. I'll play a bit.
What year is this album?
Well, it's now and seeing, and I'm trying to do it in an old-fashioned style.
Yeah.
Underneath the arches. Then I want a bit of rock and roll.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
talking about that. I'm observing that now.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to glorify it. I want to just really do it. It's better than
Go
the
on
song.
then. Right.
And I've got a great intro, which I think I've nicked from Simon Smith.
Perfect.
Oh dear God. My name is Jody McIntyre. My bands don't even have a fire. And the wife says, Jody, go to London town. Get it right. And if they don't give us a was it half a chance? Don't even give us a second glance. Then Jody with my blessings burn. Then some bells, right?
Yeah.
Here comes London. Come on, follow the Geordie boys. They'll fill your heart with joy. They're marching for their freedom now. This is a brass band. Come on, follow the Jarrow lads. They'll make your heart feel glad. They're saying now, yes, now is the hour. And then I was going to play Now is the hour, but it's copyright.
Is
Right?
it?
So forget it.
Yeah, okay.
My name is Little Billy White, and I know what's wrong and I know what's right. And the wife says, Geordie, go to London town. And if they don't give us a couple of bob, won't even give you a decent job, then Geordie with my blessings burn them down. Come on, follow the Geordie boys. They'll fill your heart with joy. They're marching for their freedom now. Come on, follow the Jarrow lads. Try and make your heart feel glad. They're saying now, yes, now is the hour.
How long did it take to write all that, though?
Well, actually, I did the verses up when I was up in Jarrow, Fatfield, actually, where I was born. When I went to a pub there, and I wrote the first verse down. But the rest of it,
Is it bits and pieces you've had thrown about or something? Or
yeah, except the instrumental, I think, because a tenor player taught me that run. See, listen. Which is what a tenor player practices for a...
That's a diminished scale, isn't it?
Yeah. So, anyway, but it just sounds, it's got that nice bit of insanity, you know. I've spent quite a few years working with people, musicians, who weren't spectacular, shall I say. But mainly because I was such a nervous individual, and being a leader, you've got to be one thing or the other. It's either cooperative or you're the boss. Now, if you're the boss, you have to get guys that'll knuckle under. And mainly, actually, the good players have got strong personalities, and there's always a personality conflict. So I made do with 75% fellas who I could dominate initially, and then you change because you know that your music suffers that way. If you've only got people who are afraid to play, they don't give you it all. So you change, as it's just like life in general. You just, like when you first start pulling chicks, you're always like the first ones you can go all the way with. Then you get a bit of respect for the ones that you can't pull straight away, and then you end up marrying one who just gives you the elbow initially, and you have to fight. And it's the same with musicians. You have to fight to get the best, and it's a rather painful process of being a mate and a friend and living with somebody all the time on the road. But at the end of the month, you still have to pay them wages. And there's always that employee-employer relationship, which doesn't work in a business like ours. It shouldn't have to be that way. Play that as well.
Yeah, but you hold the chord too as well.
Two.
You don't know organ, I think. You don't know organ this one.
So you go straight in there. Okay, group 5.
Group 5.
Somebody will have to give me a nod, but don't nod your head all the time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Go one more time for me, Alan, please, sorry. My turn for a group.
Huh? You needn't have turned the organ up wildly for that in the solo, put everybody off.
Unfortunately, what you hear in your cans is also the result of a mix I'm feeding back out.
Yeah, okay.
So there's some, I can accommodate to a degree, so you won't...
Okay, all right, it's all right. Never mind, fellas, it's sounding good.
That's very good.
Yes, okay, all right. Everybody ready? Group 7.
Group 7.
city dreams are shining out for me, and I must leave. And no one will be watching out for me, yet I believe that it's true.
Oh my God. There's a few ghosts in here anyway, but I thought we'd press on. Right, again, last one.
Sorry, wait for a second, please.
He has an irritating habit of being very abrupt, and you can't really make up your mind at first. You know, is he being serious or not? Well, he is, of course, but it's just the manner. If you can get used to that manner, which I have done, and see through it and beyond it, in actual fact, he's been very pastoral about the whole thing. He's a very, very good man to work with, but any man who is hard enough to whip a bunch of musicians into discipline, by whichever manner he uses, and Alan uses shortness, it is worth it, because he knows what he wants in the end.
The city dreams are shining out for me, and I am on my own. The city eats the children up and spits them out before they're almost grown. And it's true. It's new.
Well, hey!
Honestly, no, when you're playing the, dotted on that, it's so difficult to play straight two quavers on that, you know, because your hand wants to go a different way, isn't it? You know, if you do... I can't play a few bars first, man. Sing it, Colin. Sing it.
I can't sing it.
Sing it. Sing with the thing. It takes him to come with some stupid thing. Play shuffle on that. Play quavers on that.
Well, it's good, isn't it?
Honestly. I tell you.
Rubbish.
I look terrible, man. This is definitely the end of the road. Pale, spotty, aggravated, bad-tempered, thin, poor.
And you can't even sleep?
No, I can sleep. That's the only way I get any safety.
At least if I could sleep, I don't mind.
It's not selling you
I
some
don't
sleep.
mind it, but if
You
I
give me your
could
peace, I'll
just...
swap you my peace of mind for your sleep.
Honestly.
I send Tony off after poor people.
Yeah.
I shouldn't really send him off. I just thank you very much, Tony. It'd get lost. And I'll say we're going to do a song with 3 of the guys called "Look at My Face," and then after we've done that, you 2 disappear.
Right.
And I shall walk you off the stage because I'm going to go into the piano and do a living without you. Quite
When
appropriate.
do we come back?
How many are you doing, son? 3.
We come back for the house that Jack built.
Sorry?
The house that Jack built we come back for.
Well, no, just put that down. I've got no idea what I want to do after that. I just ask you to come back.
3 minutes to personnel, please. 3 minutes. Thank you.
3 minutes. Oh, no.
Well, I look smart enough. They keep their eyes closed.
Sound. It's a message for John.
Is that a message for you?
That's it. I'm straight in the deep end. No matter right, wrong, or indifferent.
Good luck.
Ready? I'm going to do a song for you now. It's called "Look at My Face." I wouldn't have asked you. But that's the title. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Look at my face. Does it tell you what you want to know? Does it show the deeper secrets there? It will clear the air. Look at my heart. It truly looks a beaten one, but it beats on, and the deeper secrets there. It will clear the air. So catch what you can, your friends are there to show you how and how to care. Catch what you can, your friends are there, and I'm your friend right now. Look at my life. Does it show you what you want to be? Can't you see the deeper secrets there? It will clear the air.
Catch what you can, your friends are there to show you how and how to care. Catch what you can, your friends are there, and I'm your friend right now. Look at my face, does it tell you what you want to know? Does it show the deepest secrets there? It will clear the air. Look at your life, does it show you what you want to be? Can't you see the deepest secrets there? It will clear the air, it will clear the air.
This is a song called Saveloy Dip. And if you don't know what a Saveloy Dip is, I'll tell you. A Saveloy Dip is a bun with a big fat red sausage in the middle, and you put peas pudding on it, and you dip it in the gravy, and you only eat it on a Saturday morning before you go to the football match when you support either Newcastle or Sunderland. Away the lads! Right, now listen. Mention me to my friends up north when you visit. Tell them I think of them each lonely minute. I miss the football game, life's tame is just not the same. Tell them to keep my chair warm, I'll be home. Actually, all I wanted to do was, first of all, to be the best piano player in the world, and I lost that job. And then I wanted to be a good singer, and I didn't quite make that either. So I've tried to be a songwriter, and so I haven't lost that yet. And so that'll keep me going for a while. But I never wanted to be a famous face. Just wanted to be a, rather clever. The grammar school image of a fella. I'm talking about Saveloy dips, sunny afternoon trips, peas pudding, pork pie, smoking still get in your eyes. Come on! What you tell? What you tell? What you tell? What you tell? That's all over. Now I know about deals, I know how to steal, it's all over. I used to think myself lame, but now I can find